welcome to another quick tip. Today we're going to talk about how you can find out how much is left on your spool. All you're going to need is a scale. This one is not the best quality, but it does the job, and a marker. Of course, you need to get your spool brand new without any usage, and the first thing you want to try to find is what is the net weight. So in this case here, 1 kilogram. You can see it's in the spool itself, in the label, but sometimes it's going to be in the box somewhere, like here. Again, net weight 1 kilogram, and this is for PETG, but it works the same way for every single filament. You just need to be careful about the density on your slicer. I'll talk about this later in the video. So first thing you want to do is to open that up, of course. Remove everything that is not the filament or the spool. So you're gonna grab your scale and power that up. Make sure you have that zeroed. So in my case here, as I powered up, it's going to be zero. Different scales might have different operations, and you put the whole thing on top of the scale and see how much the whole thing weighs. So this one weighs 1.177 kilos. So as you know, 1 kilogram is filament, the other 177 grams is the spool. So that's easy to make maths. Now you just grab a marker and put that number down in your spool. Make sure you use a permanent marker, and this will keep written in the spool so you don't lose it. So you know this spool now weighs 177. So I've been doing that in pretty much all my spools. So this another one here is 203 grams. So if I want to know how much filament I still have, all I gotta do is to weight the whole thing and do the maths. I know how much the spool weighs. I need to understand how much the filament I still have. So basically you're going to do the same thing, and it might be tricky. My scale is not the best for a round filament. You might print a support or anything, but this one is showing 280, 270 something. Let's call it 283 for the sake of argument here, just to make a simple math. So I know the spool weighs 203, so that gives me roughly 80 grams, 75 grams of filament ish, because I know how much the spool weighs. So I spoke earlier about density of different filaments. So I've got some ABS here in white, yellow is normal PLA, blue is PETG, and the golden one is silk PLA. I've taken 2 meters of each filament, and I'm going to show how much this weighs. So PETG 6 grams. Again, my scale is not the best, but just to illustrate the difference in weight. PLA just about the same, 7, slightly heavier, 7.6, you see. So yeah, maybe slightly heavier. Again, not the best accuracy scale, but I'm pretty sure there are better ones out there. About the same as PETG, 6 grams. This silk PLA usually contains a powder, so could be a little bit heavier. Doesn't seem to show much difference here in my scale. And ABS for last, as you can see, it is lighter. So technically, if you buy 1 kilogram spools, you have more filament with ABS than PLA. So I've googled the official densities. As you can see here, PLA and PETG, they vary, but they are in a similar range, and ABS, it is indeed about 15 to 20% lighter than PETG and PLA. Different manufacturers will have different weights, but bear in mind there is a difference in the density. So if you usually printing PLA and PETG, between them you're not going to find a huge difference, but if you print the ABS you might get a mistake. Usually when you pick the filament in your slicer, there are density factors within it, and that should give you the estimate not only in length but also in how much the part would weight. So here's an example of a part I sliced. This one in PETG is telling me about 10 grams and 3.32 meters of filament. So I've printed that one up, and as check, you can see it's pretty much bang on. 9 grams. I'll try again. Say 10 grams. Yeah, my scale is not the most accurate, but indeed this is a very effective way for you to find out if you have enough filament to finish your print. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.